You know, in engineering, even the smallest miscalculation, well, it can have massive consequences. So what if we could completely reimagine the whole process? Today, we're going to explore a digital solution that does exactly that, turning those old static reports into intelligent, automated tools.
So let me ask you this. Are you really, truly 100% confident in your manual calculations? It sounds like a simple question, right? But for any practicing engineer out there, the answer can be a little complicated. There's always that little seed of doubt, that constant need to double check. It's just part of the job. And honestly, it's no wonder why. You're juggling all these ridiculously complex formulas. You're trying to stick to really strict building codes, like the DBN and DSTU standards in Ukraine, where you know one tiny slip-up can have huge consequences. And that's before we even get to the time spent formatting reports, or the absolute nightmare of manually recalculating everything just because one single parameter changed. It's an incredibly high-pressure world.
Okay, so here's what we've got planned. First, we'll really unpack the core challenge. Then, I'll introduce you to a fascinating digital solution from a company called Dystlab. We'll see it in action with a real-world water tank calculation, take a peek under the hood at the automation that makes it all work, and then wrap up with how this could directly benefit your own workflow.
So let's kick things off with the challenge itself. And look, we're talking about something that goes way beyond just getting the numbers right. It's really about managing an entire workflow that's just packed with complexity and risk.
Every single project you work on demands this painstaking level of detail. It doesn't matter if it's a simple beam or a massive structure, the responsibility lands squarely on you to make sure every calculation is not just accurate, but also fully compliant. The pressure for perfection is just immense.
Okay, so what's the alternative to this high-stakes manual process? Well, Dystlab is proposing a pretty fundamental shift in thinking. What if your calculation reports weren't just static Word files or PDFs? What if they were living, dynamic, intelligent tools?
To make this concrete, let's look at a specific example from the Dystlab store. This is product 0060, a complete professional-grade calculation report for designing a two-section reinforced concrete water tank. This is exactly the kind of document that engineers are creating day in and day out.
All right, let's dive right into this case study. This isn't just theory. We're looking at a practical, real-world document that really shows how the right structure can tame incredible complexity.
And you can see the beauty of its structure right here. It's laid out exactly how an engineer thinks through a problem. You start with your inputs, you collect all your loads, you run the strength checks, verify the soil base, and then you arrive at clear conclusions. It's just a perfect logical workflow from start to finish.
And just look at the level of detail here. This is not some simplified model. The report rigorously analyzes everything, from eccentricities to complex load combinations. And it has all the necessary safety factors built right in. This is the kind of professional-grade analysis that actually gives you confidence.
But here's the real magic. All of that complex math that's happening in the background, it gets distilled into these clean, clear tables. All of a sudden, a sea of formulas becomes organized, verifiable information that you can review and trust at a glance. So how does this all happen? Well, that brings us to the engine running behind the scenes. You see, this report isn't just a static file. It's a live, automated tool running inside a software environment called TechEditor. This slide just captures the difference perfectly. On the left, you've got the old way, static, locked down, and full of risk. Any change means you're basically starting over. But on the right, you have the TechEditor solution, instant recalculations, guaranteed consistency, automatic unit conversion, and a report you can actually reuse and adapt for your next project. It's a completely different world.
So what exactly is TechEditor? Well, think of it as the smart environment where these documents live. It handles all the math automatically, using an incredible level of precision that eliminates those annoying rounding errors. It even converts units on the fly. It's the platform that makes this entire dynamic approach possible. Just think for a second what this means for your workflow. What happens when you need to change the concrete grade or the wall thickness? Instead of hours of manual rework, you change one number, press F5, and the entire report, every single formula, every single table, instantly updates. The amount of time and risk this eliminates is just staggering. Okay, so let's bring this all home. We've seen the technology, but what are the direct benefits for you and your projects? Why does this shift in approach actually matter in the real world? It really boils down to three key advantages. You dramatically reduce your design time by automating all that rework.
You minimize arithmetic errors because the calculations are being handled by the software. And as a result of those two, you fundamentally increase the reliability and the quality of your final project.
And this approach has really broad applications. It's a powerful tool for the engineer on the front lines, for design companies trying to standardize quality, for teachers and students learning the fundamentals, and even for specialists who are designing complex structures like tanks.
Ultimately, it all comes back to Dystlab's core promise, which is captured perfectly in their tagline, reliable digital solutions for your work. It's not just about being clever or fast. It's about building tools that you can truly depend on.
So the final question is this. Are you ready to stop just documenting your calculations and start automating them? You can explore this water tank solution and a whole lot of others over at Dystlab.store. It might just change the way you work.